I was about 4 or 5 years old. And you're driving through the mountains. My dad's driving. There was a motorcycle that came by. So they passed us by. They were going, speeding. About 15-20 minutes later, we were at an accident site. And that motorcycle was, in an accident with a truck. One of them was probably dead. The traffic had slowed down, and I peeked my head out to see what's going on. And there comes a spirit.
Welcome to the Awaken Magazine podcast, where we feature inspiring leaders who are helping our world awaken to love. I'm your host, David Trotter, and today I want to share with you a live interview with Manna Dabholkar. She is a psychic medium, a life coach, a former therapist, and this conversation was recorded at our very first in-person event called Awaken Live in Costa Mesa, California. And during this session, you're going to hear Manna talk about the very first time that she realized that she could see and connect with post-material beings, as she calls them. I called them dead people. She doesn't like that, all right? We also hear about how this gift runs in her family. We talk all about what is mediumship, how is it working on both a spiritual level as well as a scientific level. And then she actually demonstrates mediumship readings for those who are live in attendance. And we did our very best for you to hear the exchange back and forth, but what you may not be able to hear is the audible gasp in the room when she is calling out specific names of loved ones who are present on the other side. You are going to be blown away by this conversation and this mediumship demonstration. Manna is an incredible friend, and she is amazing at what she does. Now, if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to the Awaken Magazine podcast on YouTube, Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts, Spotify. Click subscribe, leave a rating or review. That's an easy way for you to help us spread the word about these incredible interviews that we are releasing each and every week. All right, let's jump into this conversation with Manna Dabholkar. Manna, I want to hear about the earliest memory that you have of being able to connect with the unseen.
So much energy in this room, right? Yeah. So I was born in Bombay, India. I was raised in South Africa. And I come from a family that has mediumship lineage. So all the men on my mom's side of the family, or my grandfathers, uncles, were all mediums, never trained, super empaths. We'll get together, family gatherings, and they'll cry as they get drunk. And my earliest memory is I was about 4 or 5 years old. And you're driving through the mountains. My dad's driving. And this is 1980s India, no car seats, okay? So I was in the back seat. Just put the kids out there, right? And as we are driving through the mountains, there was a motorcycle that came by. And there were 2 men on it. The guy who was driving the motorcycle was not wearing a helmet. Once again, no safety, it's India.
There's still no safety in India. I've been there. Yeah, there's like 8 people in one family on a motorcycle.
That's right. Oh, you haven't seen the trains. But so they passed us by. They were going, they're speeding. And my dad said, this is not a place to speed. I mean, this is, you're in the mountains. About 15-20 minutes later, we were at an accident site. And that motorcycle was, in an accident with a truck. And I believe both those men were on the road, and obviously one of them was probably dead. Because as a 5-year-old, I was super interested in what's going on. The traffic had slowed down, and I peeked my head out to see what's going on. And there comes a spirit. And I'm 5, 6, I can barely speak. And the spirit says to me, can you reach out to my family? Let them know I'm okay. And I said to Mom, Mama, there's someone here. And she said, no, go back to sleep. So that was my earliest memory that I remember very clearly. And then things started happening for me since I was 5, 6, 7, 8. And every single time I said that to my mom, she would say, no, there is nothing there. Go back to sleep. And it's surprising to me because she came from a family of mediums, but I think she did not want us to do anything with that. So she kept me and my oldest sister, is also a medium, not trained, but a really good medium, away from psychic mediumship. So I didn't do anything about it, and I think this is a story of a lot of healers, right? You have it when you're 5 and 6, and then you shut it down, and then it comes right back in your face, and it did a few years later. Yeah.
And I'm always intrigued to hear that your mom actually gave you a gift after her passing. Did it come after her passing or before her passing?
So that's interesting. Yes. It's funny because I kind of realized that when I was talking to you on the podcast about my mom. So my mom had cancer for about 10 years. She struggled. And I've been a death educator, a death doula for about 17 years, but she was my first client. I was 18 and I got on-the-job training with my mom. I did all her stuff in the last 3 months before she passed. And in those last 3 months, David, she was saying things which someone with no training would be like, oh, she's, heavily medicated. She's probably seeing things. But I had this innate understanding of some things there that she sees and I cannot. Because she would just point fingers. She'll be like, they're here, they're here. And I'm like, who? And she's like, they're here to take me. So she would say those things in the last 3 months. And I've seen this over and over again when I do that doula work now, that people who come close to dying would often see their family members show up. So then she passes away, and I'm leaving. I'm on my way back, and my dad handed me a book. And he said, this is a gift from your mom, and she wants you to read it. And the book was on mediumship. It was these two, a mom and dad who had lost their 21-year-old kid, and they became mediums. They studied to become mediums to speak with the sun. And I read the book back on the flight, and I was like, interesting, that she would actually give me that book. But that was my first realization that I could not, I could not avoid it anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What is happening spiritually, scientifically, however you want to describe it, as you are connecting with dead people? I know you don't like me to call them that.
Yeah,
Yes.
They don't like dead people. Post-material bodies. They get really insulted because they're not dead. The best way for me to explain that would be, think about a cube of ice, right? So a cube of ice is what? Mass, form of energy, just like us. Apply some heat, it goes from mass to liquid. So it became water. Apply some more heat, and now it's what? Steam. Disappears. Do you think it really disappeared? Where is it? Why can't you see it? Well, that's what happens with our loved ones. They just go from one form of energy, which would be mass, to no mass. And what's the saddest thing to me as a medium, as a death doula, is in the hospital room, when someone passes away, the family would hold their hands and speak with them. And the minute they pass, they look around and start talking about them. And they're still in the room, and they can hear you. And they're like, excuse me, that's rude. You were just talking to me. So it's sad because, to me, imagine like this room over here. We decide as a group that anyone who is over 90 years old, we would just avoid them, ignore them. That would be terrible. That's what we do to our loved ones. Just because we cannot see them, we decide that they don't exist.
So, would you say then that there are non-material bodies. Is that the right word? Mm-hmm. Okay, non-material bodies here in this room with us right now.
Yeah. Absolutely, yeah.
Okay.
Do you guys sense them?
Yeah.
They're like, yes.
Would you help us connect with some of them?
Should I? So because we are so many people in this room, when I open my office door, it's going to be chaos on the other side. So what I'm going to do is let's do a lottery system. Okay, I'll bring in the first two spirits that walk in. Okay.
Man, that one looked real.
Not including her. So I'll bring in two spirits or two spirit families. We'll see how they show up. Okay. But it's really important that everyone is in their bodies, because when I go fast, you may miss it. Okay. So make sure that you take a nice deep breath. Breathe out. And if you want to just place your feet, see, I'm not wearing my shoes for that reason. Place your feet on the floor so you're nice and grounded. Yeah. Let's ground all that energy before Robert comes in. Okay, good. So the way this will work is I'll bring in two spirits, and if anyone resonates with that, you have to raise your hand and say, that's my family. If you do that, don't lie, be honest, okay? If you do that, I have a gift for you. Okay. And if you don't say that, then I'll just take the gift with me. So let's do this. Okay, so I have a male spirit walking in. He's dancing in. Okay, he probably loved to dance. Someone who is a dad, a grandfather, a great-grandfather, someone who had a big family, passed away in their 90s, and this person came in with a huge hat. Okay, and they have these shoes that look like horse riding shoes to me. I'm getting a name. I'm trying to see if I can write it. Romaldo? Anyone? Romaldo? Dad? Dad. I would place him around 5 years of passing, 5, 6 years.
8 or 9. More, a little bit more.
Yeah. What is 23? Is that 23, 2 and 3? Any significance to the number 2, 3? Kids, grandkids, great-grandkids? Big family?
Maybe.
Yeah. Did he do something with food, farming, restaurants, food?
Yeah. He opened a restaurant with my mom. It was a Mexican restaurant. He also started riding horses. I mean, rode horses when he was young in Texas and Mexico. And he didn't ride horses till he got older. As a dressed up, it was kind of like his fantasy to be this horseman.
Oh, no wonder the shoes. There's a woman, there are actually 3 more people with him. I think it's the same family. The woman seems to be their sister or a wife. I'm getting someone who has passed away before him. Maybe a Suzanne or Susie or Susanna.
Susanna.
Susanna?
My mom before.
That's so that'll be your mom? Mom.
Passed before.
Susanna. And then there is a do you know Carla?
Carla.
I am Carla.
Carla or Clara? Carla or Clara?
That would be his mom.
Clara would be his mom?
Yes. My grandmother, who I never met. Or I was very, very little.
And who is Juan? Juan. It's okay, you don't have to know.
No, I have an uncle.
They'll be very insulted that you don't know them.
My dad's older brother's name is Juan. But I'm thinking his uncle is also named Juan.
So that's one family. Great job. Okay. I have another person walking in. I don't think it's the same family. I'll just do two more, if you don't mind. Because they're pushing to the door. If you think this is wild, you gotta see what's going on the other side. There's a male figure, could be dad, stepdad, could be father-in-law, someone who fits that role in your life. This person is showing up in U.S. military uniform. I don't know if it's military, Navy. I'm sorry, I'm too bad with that. But he served and he's so proud. He's showing me his medals. Long service to our country. And married to, I think the wife is still with us, but could be a Charles, who was served.
That's totally me.
Who was that?
He's my father-in-law.
Father-in-law, and the wife still with us? Mm-hmm. Is she, something's going on with her health?
I don't know. I'd have to check in with her.
Okay, something with the dental. Janet?
Yeah.
There are dogs with him. So I see like 3 dog spirits. Is he a dog person?
Yes.
Yeah. And then there's one more that I must give because this woman has to give this message to her family. There is a grandma walking in and she's so worried about her husband. I think her husband's still with us. Her name is Betty, Betty. And this is someone who's passed away for perhaps 20, 25 years. But she is here because her husband, Robert, either has dementia or is going through health issues or memory issues. Is there anyone with a grandma and a grandfather, Robert, who's still with us? Yeah. Grandpa?
Yeah, Bob or Robert.
Is he dementia? Yeah.
Yeah.
She wants you to know she's around. So when it's time, it's not time yet, but when it's time, she'll be there. Yeah. Do you know someone named Elizabeth?
That's Betty.
There's another woman with her. Maybe I'm confusing that. There's a female who may have passed a few years after your grandma.
My other grandma.
Same names? Okay, they're together, holding hands.
Oh.
Thank you.
Yeah, she's here. And she's holding you. And she'll be with him when it's time. Doesn't mean it's time though. But he is checked out, in and out of his body. Many times we'll see people with dementia show up. He's not showing up yet, but she is worried that he has advanced stages of dementia. Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. So now we have what, 3? How many did I do? I don't even know. I had one more.
Go ahead.
Time. But I don't have many gifts. I just have 2 gifts. But I have to give this because this couple is really proud of their daughter. The daughter's probably here. I'm getting a Vincent George. Anyone? Vincent and George could be 2 names or it could be 1 name. No one? No one claiming that one? Okay, I can just push them away. Okay, sorry.
Whoa. I told Manna the first time that I saw this experience, I was like, you're so normal and ordinary. You should make this weirder. Like wear some like veil or something, or, like just make it weird, So, is that a Vincent George?
No. Is it possible to ask a question?
We'll do that later. Yeah. So, Manna, what is happening inside of you, like as this is all occurring? Like, describe to us what's happening. You said office. You stepped into you opened your door of your office. What's happening?
It's really just calming your mind. It's that simple. And I think we are running behind things all the time. So we miss those symbols. I think of our body as your house, right? And the spirit lives in it. Imagine if you're receiving a FedEx delivery and you're not home. You're going to miss it. So because we are not checked into our bodies, our spirit's like, Baba, your body's filled with complexity. There's so much pain, suffering. Your mind is running constantly. The spirit does not want to be in it. So if your higher self, your spirit's not in your body, every time you receive an intuitive message, you're going to miss it. So I think step number 1 for everyone, and anyone can be a medium, guys. I think that's probably what I want to put out here today is what I just did, anyone can do it. And this is one reason I do a lot of readings, but they don't bring me satisfaction as much as teaching mediumship does. Because I know within 3 or 4 weeks, you can do it. You would never have to see a medium. Look at this guy, I haven't seen him. Since he took my classes, I don't see him because he can't do what I do. And that's what I would want for every one of you is if you really miss your loved ones, you can speak with them yourself. You don't need a psychic and a medium. You just need a few weeks and invest in knowing how to do it. Okay, there's very structured steps to get to that point where you can speak with spirits. And we have some mediums in this room who have studied with us, and they'll tell you, it doesn't matter what your background is. It's science, and you are going to arrive in the same place as every other medium does.
Thank you so much, Manna. It's great to be with you. Yeah.
Thanks for listening to the Awaken Magazine podcast. If you enjoyed this episode and our other conversations, would you mind taking a moment to leave a 5-star review and maybe even a comment on Spotify or Apple Podcasts? That's one of the ways that you can give back to the show and help us reach more people. And of course, feel free to share the episode with a friend. And if you're not already on our email list, we send out an inspiring email every Monday morning full of articles and interviews. Just head on over to awakenedmagazine.com and click subscribe and join for free. Our hope is that all the resources we share will help our world continue awakening to love.